Ryan, you have a piece of gold around your waist, but with or without it, you have become a shot caller in this division. You've got the popularity. These fans here tonight, everyone that follows you on social media.
Hey, don't forget, I see you, Devin. Yeah, shout out Devin Haney. I like him. We got a rivalry, but I want to fight him too. Don't worry. I want to fight everybody. Let's go.
Canelo's there for you. The fights that you've called out for.
All right, then what you think? Yeah, they there for me. All I got to do is fight. I got to continue to fight, win, and I'm be the best I can be. I don't know what you asking me. What you want me to say? No, they're not there for me. What you want me to give you? They there for me. Dub, you know boxing, you know it. If you don't, you're going to ask questions like this.
No, I think you're a great fighter. And
I know that. I know that already. I'm
telling you, I think you are.
30 with 22 knockouts, but I don't want to fight this. Man, what don't you know about me? What do you want to give out to your fans? This interview is for you, not me. What do you want to give out to your fans? Tell your fans to watch my fight September 26th on Showtime pay-per-view. Order it. I don't know where you been. You asking me questions that's irrelevant to what I got going on in front of me. Me and my twin brother are great. We in great spirits. We see each other every day. We eating great. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you work for DAZN or who you work for, but you asking me some bullshit, and I'm about to get off this interview.
No, I think you're a great fighter. I've been to many of your.
So ask me questions about me being a great fighter if you want to continue to talk to me, because that's what you talking about DAZN offering me money. You talking about some shit you don't even know. You don't even got real proof. You just saying what you hear on the internet. Well, ask me about me, and you're gonna get the information that I'm gonna give you.
I'm asking. I was getting through that question. I was asking if at 30 years old, do you feel like you're on that path?
I feel good. I'm the best. If you ever been 30 before, I feel good. I'm 30 years old. I'm great.
For those just tuning in, Teofimo Lopez on with us, undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Now, Teo, you've accomplished, I guess all that is to accomplish in a division. So you would think, the next step is to go do the same in another division at 140, which, yes, it creates legacy, right? But and that was his take on it. My take on it was, even though you've done that, right? We talked about a division being a special era, like the Leonard and Hearn days. I just think that the crop of young fighters with yourself and Ryan and Tank and Devin, it does create something special, but wouldn't that add to your legacy too? Like you said, bragging rights to beat the guys that are all undefeated. They're all undefeated, and those are the guys that people say are the best guys in the sport today. Like, do you have an urge to do that, to maybe fight a Tank or eventually a Ryan just for those bragging purposes, even though you won the belts already?
Let me interrupt.
Not to mention really quick, just to add to that, not only for bragging rights, but in reality, those fights would probably make the most sense in terms of money too and popularity here in America, because people want to see it.
Now, Tio, remember what Akhi just said. Now, the disagreement that me and him, the disagreement that because you said we disagreed, you gave one side, so that makes no sense. What you just
said we debated. I never said we disagreed. I said we debated on something.
That is so crazy that you just said that. Debate means to disagree. So anyway, the other side of that was you could do that, stay there and fight those fighters in 135, even though you've already accomplished everything like Akhi just said, or go up to 140 and fight the winner of Ramirez and Taylor and become the undisputed there and do something that nobody in the history of boxing has ever done and be the first person alive to do that.
And I said, add more sauce to my question.
No, and I said, no, I'm adding the other side. That's the debate. The debate is, I know a fight with you and Tank would be nice, but I'm saying the better legacy is to do something that nobody in the world in the history of boxing has ever done, and that's become undisputed in 2 different divisions with the 4 belts. Which one do you think will add to your legacy more?
That's a lot for him to. That's a lot for him to absorb.
No, but you gotta also think about it. It's like I get to choose though. That's the thing. I have the option of choosing whether I want to stay for one more fight at 35 and be with any of those 3 guys, or go to or I can actually be doing that while I wait for the results of Ramirez Taylor. You know what I mean?
I think he needs to defend his titles. Forget about me for the minute. There's a lot of good fights at lightweight there that he can prove that he is the best. Completely secure his legacy at lightweight. So yeah, that's another one that if he comes up, I believe I'll beat him as well. I do really believe I can beat him as well. It's funny how his ego's just. But I'd like to take him down to. I'd like to cut him down to size. I think that fight between Lopez and Tank's a great fight. I think that's a great fight. And also Devin Haney as well. Devin Haney as well. He's a great talent as well. So that, I think it's hard to say who is the best in that division.
For the Max Kellermans of the world, who claim to be historians, who claim to be experts, Joe Tessitore's of the world, you know, I can only say one thing to them, that the great Roger Mayweather told me, the Black Mamba, he say, y'all don't know shit about boxing, you know? And you know, they know a lot of shit, but they don't know boxing. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you won't fool all the people all the time, you know? In order for it to be an undisputed champion, all roads go through Devin Haney.
You know, it's funny because Max called out the DAZN, Mora, and Chris Mannix for ignoring Teo as a potential opponent for Ryan during his last fight. But how ironic is it that when ESPN, during the commentary for Lomachenko versus Teofimo, they completely ignored Devin Haney?
Man, Chris Mannix is just as bad over there at the DAZN where we at. So, you know what I'm saying? It don't make a difference, you know? They protecting the fighters that need protecting. You know what I'm saying? I get on here and I don't tell you, you know, yeah, don't let the people, or we don't turn off our comments on our Instagram, or we don't, you know what I'm saying? But we're talking about deciding who is the best at 135. We're not here bullshitting with you, period. We want Teofimo now, right now.
How did you choose Lomachenko? Because
I did not choose him. He requested, Canelo requested. So we sent out a vote and we analyzed his history.
Ooh, Canelo and Lomachenko requested?
Absolutely.
Ooh, you just made headlines.
Lomachenko.
You just made headlines.
Lomachenko, top rank, requested. And let me tell you, we analyzed the request. Top of the top.
Define the franchise belt. Can you define it?
The franchise is not a belt. It's not a championship. It's a designation given to elite, unique fighters who carry the industry of the sport of boxing. Canelo Alvarez and Lomachenko are two sensational fighters who carry the industry.
In the sport of boxing, we went from having reporters, commentators, and color analysts. They were actually challenging fighters to fight the best. However, now today, it's the contrary. They offering witness protection, but only to the fighters on the hope list. Like Bill said on Split Decision, they only offer witness protection to the fighters that actually need protection. Majority of the fighters on the coincidental list, they do not accept any type of protection. They are free smoke fighters. Matter of fact, they voluntarily go out there and look for the smoke. The likes of Shakur, Devin Haney, Terrence Crawford, Charlo, so on and so forth. However, the sad truth, on the other hand, you have the fighters on the hope list, the likes of Canelo Alvarez, Vasil Lomachenko, and last but not least, Teofimo Lopez. They pay for witness protection. It does not come free. They literally paid for witness protection. The French fries title, the witness protection belt. I recall the time Teofimo Lopez was on Max Unboxing and Max Kellerman told him, you proved yourself. You beat Lomachenko. You have the majority of the belts. So you earned the right to pretty much cherry pick. Max told Teo, you do not have to fight anybody. You could fight whoever you want to fight. Even though that was so hypocritical by the maximum hypocrisy on ESPN, Kellerman, the point that I want to focus on, if Teofimo Lopez earned the right to cherry pick by dancing and maneuvering around the best competition, all because he beat a fighter that ESPN erased his loss on more than one occasion, Lomachenko. Therefore, according to old media, if Teofimo is the shot caller because he has majority of the belts, at the lightweight division. Then how did Ryan Garcia earn the right to become a shot caller when he's not even a champion? He does not even hold one belt. However, he receives the same type of protection. Ryan Garcia gets paid less than Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia is the mandatory when Devin Haney is the champion. So how the hell is he the shot caller? And please do not bring up Luke Campbell, because according to Ryan Garcia himself, Luke Campbell, all he's known is for losing. He lost to Lomachenko, Linares, and someone I don't even know about. Therefore, that was just a stepping stone. Luke was brought in to lose and make Ryan Garcia look great. But again, according to O Media, if Teofimo is the man because he beat Lomachenko, then how come Ryan Garcia earned them same rights Teofimo has when he haven't beaten anybody yet? Matter of fact, he's not even a champion. He's only a mandatory. But you have Chris Mannix, who disrespected Demetrius Andrade on more than one occasion, who's clearly a racist. I mean, he showed his true colors a long time ago. Instead of pressing the young bull to legacy fights, to challenging Devin Haney, Tank, and all of the above, he tells Ryan, you the shot caller, you could fight whoever you want to fight. Like I said before, it's all about that complexion for the connection to get the ultimate protection. It never been about the title. It's about who's holding the title. Nevertheless, shout out to Ryan Garcia for declining the witness protection program and behaving like a true challenger. And I say challenger because he's not a champion yet. And acknowledging Devin Haney making Chris Mannix look extremely dumb. But it ain't just Chris Mannix. Truth be told, is even Akhi and Barack. They want to call Teofimo undisputed after Eddie Hearn went on their show and explained to them why Teofimo's only unified. The French fries belt is a witness protection belt, and they know it better than I do. Eddie explained to them on their own show that the other organizations don't recognize the French fries title as a real title. Even the WBC president, Suleiman, he made it as clear as day that the WBC franchise title is not a belt, is not a championship, and is not a title. To make matter worse, all of the boxing websites, from BoxRec, from the biggest to the smallest, they all have Teofimo listed as unified, not undisputed, and they have Devin Haney as the WBC champion. Therefore, how can you host a boxing podcast? How can you claim you're a boxing expert, but you don't do your homework? We can't trust you then. You're not reliable. What's crazy is Akhi and Barack are being biased, not to their own network, but to a fighter on a whole nother network. Just to let you guys know how effective is that Hope Insurance. It's truly better than Geico. And I'm truly disappointed in them guys. This is what we fighting against, the double standards. But thanks to people like Akhi and Barack, they continue to misinform the public by calling Teofimo undisputed while they know that he's clearly not. However, by doing so, they indirectly call Devin Haney a non-champion when Devin Haney fights for DAZN. Usually when someone is biased, is toward their own fighters, not toward a fighter from a whole different network. If you are going to lie and misinform the public, it's more understandable if you're being biased to your own fighters on your own network. But to lie for a fighter that fights for another network is something I cannot comprehend. See, when it comes to Chris Mannix, we already know he's a racist. He doesn't even try to hide it. However, when it comes to Akhi and Barack, I just don't understand why they continue to misinform the public. I'm well informed that they both from Brooklyn, so is Teo. Therefore, they might be a little biased toward Tio because of that. But at the end of the day, or at least the night, that's why you are a professional. You do not mix your emotion with your profession. That's the difference between a boxing reporter and a fanboy. A boxing reporter will always go based on the facts. However, a fanboy will always go with his opinion. But as a professional, it's facts over emotion. Therefore, when it comes to DAZN podcasters, from both the inside and the outside looking in, they looking extremely horrible, to say the least. Instead of being reporters, they coming out as fanboys, which is a horrible look on DAZN. They so biased. I literally have to force myself to listen in order to watch the commentators during the fight and even the podcasters. Like I said before, it's like the whole DAZN staff, all the commentators and all the podcasters. They either racist or, like Roger Mayweather said, they don't know shit about boxing. Because I can't even say bias. If you're going to be biased, then you have to be biased to a fighter on your own network, not to a fighter on a whole nother network. Furthermore, they said it's okay to protect Teofimo because he proved himself. However, Ryan Garcia haven't proven anything yet, and they already protecting him. It never been about legacy fights, money fights, so on and so forth. They seen this movie too many times where the guy they hate the most, the fighter from the coincidental list, always come out on top, or majority of the times. So if you can't beat them, stay away from them. And that's the green print or the blueprint, whatever you want to call it, that old media is following at this moment in time. But I'm going to leave you guys with...
How did you choose Lomachenko? Because
I did not choose him. He requested, Canelo requested. So we sent out a vote and we analyzed his history.
Ooh, Canelo and Lomachenko requested?
Absolutely.
Ooh, you just made headlines.
Lomachenko,
You just made headlines.
Lomachenko, top rank, requested. And let me tell you, we analyzed the request. Top of the top.
Define the franchise belt. Can you define it?
The franchise is not a belt. It's not a championship. It's a designation given to elite, unique fighters who carry the industry of the sport of boxing. Canelo Alvarez and Lomachenko are two sensational fighters who carry the industry.
Ask Cameron Duncan, do Top Rank have like columns of fighters? And they say, we don't want this guy fighting the black fighter, we don't want this fighter fighting the Mexican fighter, and so on and so forth.
You're gonna get into the racial stuff, huh?
No, I'm not. I'm asking.
That's a theory there by the greatest matchmaker, probably, in my opinion, ever.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to mention his name either, but you know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
And he used to have a thing up on his board, NBF, no black fighters.
Uh-huh.
And when I was taught to bring up a fighter, you know, and again, it's just, he used to say to me, you can go anywhere in the country. And I'm going to leave it at this. I don't want to go into a long discussion because people are people in God's eyes, and we're all the same. He used to say to me, you can go anywhere into a city in America or anywhere in the world and ask a white guy, and he didn't say any other, he didn't say anything about Hispanic, anything. Ask a white guy to throw a jab, and half of them are going to turn backwards and throw it like a girl and everything. Ask any black man on a street corner in any city in the world, and they will snap out a jab in a heartbeat. And I used to laugh. He said, they're just more physically gifted. And he said, and so they have speed and better to stay away from them. Nothing personal. So I said, okay. And I've lived by that. And you know, I don't want to sound like some weird guy, but you know, you're trying to be safe with your guys, and so yeah, there is a thing about that, you know, but not in a bad way, in a very respectful way, you know, to be careful. So that's all.
The last man even said they doing that to protect them.
Right.
Somebody beat them, but they don't get a belt.
There you go.
The franchise belt is to protect them from the big black guys.
So you would favor Devin Haney to beat Vasily Lomachenko?